iOS 13. iOS 13. I've been waiting forever for iOS 13 to come out. Okay, I'm going to make this intro while I'm driving because sometimes that's the only time I have any time. Just sit down and talk. So I'm making this video on why the new iOS 13 iPad operating system pretty much makes it so that now you don't need a laptop anymore, and makes the iPad a perfect machine for recording, capturing ideas, being creative, editing video, more so than even a computer, especially if you factor in all the costs involved. One of the biggest improvements that Apple has made is they've added a very comprehensive voice control. So, and they've also added mouse support. They had external monitor support. A few years ago I had some issues with my arm using a regular mouse, so I switched over to the scroll mouse, and it took me about 2 days to get used to it, but I've had no problems ever since. But now, with one single dongle, you can charge your device, have a mouse attached, keyboard attached, get audio out from a small 8-inch jack, a Bluetooth keyboard for, MIDI keyboard, as well as a keyboard for typing. But a lot of that stuff you don't need. You can use voice control. So this is going to be particularly handy for, let's say you're trying to record your own drum tracks, or just your own playing period where you need two hands to do it. You can now tell whatever DAW is to start recording, even arm the track and everything without having to touch anything, touch your instrument in your hand. So that makes it extremely convenient, because now it can be 8 feet across the room and you don't have to be close to it. There will be instances where it's handy just to have it close, especially when you're using the touch interface to play instruments. But just all in all, these few additions have now made it so that seems to be the perfect mobile machine. And a lot of the same stuff can actually be done on an iPhone as well. So when you can't take an iPad, then you have your smaller version of your computer, which is an iPhone, which can do a lot. I've been working a lot with Garageband lately to push its limitations and see what I can do. And most things can pretty much be done in Garageband, which is free, which also runs on your iPhone. So Cubase doesn't on your iPhone yet, so that's unfortunate, but maybe they will implement it eventually. Okay, I'm going in the store, so don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to use the voice control, yeah?
The voice control settings in iOS 13 for iPad, and these are just some of the settings that I've learned, but I'll show you where to find all the other commands, and maybe then some customization, I'm not sure yet.
Turn on voice control.
Okay, I turned on voice control.
Open GarageBand. Tab 1. Tab 1. Tap 1. Swipe right. Swipe left. Repeat 2 times. Swipe left. Repeat 3 times. Swipe left. Swipe left. Swipe left. Tap 6. Tap 18. Tap 3. Show grid. 7. 7. Tap 8. Tap 24. There you go. Tap 27. Increment 2. Increment 27, 2. Increment 31, 2. Increment 31. Increment 31. Repeat 2 times. Increment 4. Tab 1. Tap 2. Tap 4. Repeat 31 times. Tap 1. Go back. Show grid. 3. 8. Tap 8. Tap 5. Tap 3. Tap 3. Tap 6. Tap 7. Tap 6. Tap 6. There you go. Tap 12. Decrement 12 by 4. Decrement 12 by 3. Increment 12 by 6. Decrement 12 by 3. Increment 12 by 8. Repeat 2 times. Repeat 2 times. Go back. Tap 2. Tap 2. Wake up. Tap 2. Tap 2. Tap 2. Tap 6. Tap 23. Wake up. Tap 23. Tap 113. Tap 22. Tap 22. Tap 23. Tap 22. Show grid. 6, 5, 9, tap 5, tap 16, tap 16, tap 18, tap 88, tap 130, tap 16, tap 12, tap 8, tap 9, This is a USB adapter to USB-C with a HDMI, a USB-C input, USB input with a Logitech dongle for the scroll mouse, 1/8" stereo headphone jack, 2 USB and another regular one, and a card reader and SD card reader. Oh yeah, and Ethernet and the old school monitor input for VGA. And it's made by Powerlacken. And then there's the Apple one, which has a whole lot less on it. Has a USB-C right there, and HDMI and a regular USB, and then it's USB-C on that end. Turn down volume. Repeat 4 times. Turn up volume. Turn up volume. Repeat 5 times. Go home. Open app Spotify. Open Spotify. Go home. So a couple things. One, you can pause it by saying, go to sleep. And then there's a little blue microphone on top that is on when it's working. Also, if you make the wrong command, but it's very similar to the actual command, it'll show you commands that you should say up on the top. So iOS will suggest that, just like it did when I said open app Spotify, which is a Siri command, instead of just saying open Spotify. So it'll give you a suggestion and hints. And there's also an extensive dictation mode that it has that I didn't bring up because there's plenty of tutorials for that online. Now I'll show you how to find out what all the commands are. First I made a PDF document, and then I realized it's much simpler. You just go to settings, you go to accessibility, voice control, customize commands, and so here are the groups of commands. You have your basic navigation, and this shows you all the commands. So you can go open app switch, wake up, open app switcher, go back, show dock, Open Spotlight. Go back. Show names. So this allows you to see the name, and then show names continuously. Continuously means they just fade in and out so that they're not in the way all the time, but they're there often enough. So for instance, I can say Open Notification Center. Show numbers. Show numbers. Show numbers continuously. Show me what to say. Go back. So anyway, you can see there's a lot. And here I'm going to go back. The other menu. Here's the different things you can say with the overlays. Asking to see the grid allows you to really fine tune on a space that doesn't have a number that you can choose. And here's the dictation commands. And again, you can go look for the tutorial online for that stuff. So there's a bunch of categories with a bunch of different commands. You can mute sound, unmute sound, turn up the volume, shake the device, make emergency call, triple press side button, take a screenshot. And you may have noticed that sometimes I had to repeat myself. Most of that I cut out. It's still not perfect. There's times when you have to repeat yourself. And then other times, also, if you're trying to use this in a music app, you might have to plug in a microphone to get it to work, because it takes command of the inputs and outputs, all depending on the app. And the other thing is, it's not nearly as fast as it looks in my video. I cut out all the gaps to make it shorter, because it would take forever to sit there and watch it. You can also have it reboot your device via voice, which is nice, and then ask for confirmation. You can rotate it. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. And so I think ultimately, the only reason you would want to make music with your voice completely hands-free, I think, would be if you got laid up in the hospital and you couldn't use your hands, or if you're permanently disabled and you can't really use your hands. Maybe you're cooking, or maybe you're in the car and you're doing this between stoplights. But I think ideally probably would be maybe to have a mouse and use one hand with the mouse when you can, and then when you're recording and let's say you need your hands on your instrument, then you can switch over to voice control temporarily. I think those two would complement each other well for most people, and it would be quicker than waiting on and doing everything voice control. But the voice control is handy when you don't have your hands free. And I just wanted to kind of demonstrate that it can be used to make music when you don't have your hands free. So there's no excuse. I didn't have time because I was cooking. Well, write a measure of music, and it's better than nothing. So either way, they're all tools that can help you get through a otherwise impossible situation. Okay, that's it for this. Go home, reboot device. No, cancel. Tap 1. Go to sleep.
Learn every command. I command you.
So anyway, that's it for now. I've been absent lately because I realized I had a lot more to learn, and so I've been working on learning all this stuff so I can make some more cool tutorials. I will be back soon. Thank you very much. Over and out.